Children, today I am going to start the continuation of the lesson, the sunny morning, and this is the third part what I am doing today. Children, yesterday we came to know how Dan Gonzalo and Lura were arguing a lot, giving each other the tit for tat sentences and having an argument for each and everything. And now we come to know that Gonzalo doesn't like to mingle and talk, and Lura is very persistent. And she gives him answer back whenever he questions something, and he shows his displeasure of not wanting to talk with her. And after all this, they come to an agreement, and he says that he wants to read the book and he doesn't want any of and he takes a permission whether he can read loudly. She says, she says, if you keep quiet, I'll also keep quiet. And after that, Don Gonzalo, for the first time, he offers her the snuff. But first, shall I take a pinch of snuff? Takes out a snuff box. Will you have some? Is the very first. So there is the first offering of snuff from Dan Gonzalo to Lura, where a starting of both having good talks will start. So this is how the first offering of snuff comes from Dan Gonzalo to Lura, where the continuation after that we are going to hear the lesson. When he offers the snuff, Lura says, if it is good only I am going to take, otherwise I don't want to have the snuff. And he says, no, it is from the finest quality of snuff what I have got, and it's the finest, and definitely I know that you will like it. Now Lura takes a pinch of snuff and she says, if I take the snuff, at least my head will get clear. And he also says, yes, even my head will get clear. And suddenly Lura asks, do you have the habit of sneezing after taking the snuff? He says, yes, I do have, and usually I sneeze 3 times after taking the snuff. And she also says, what a coincidence. See, even I also have got the same habit of sneezing thrice. So when I have a bit of snuff, and usually I also sneeze. So they come to know that it is a coincidence that both have the habit of sneezing three times after taking the snuff. And now both of them take the snuff, and both of them are eagerly waiting when we are going to get the sneezes. So alternatively, both of them have three sneezes, and after that, now Gonzalo says, see, I feel better, and she also says, even I feel better now after taking, and aside, that is, she talks to herself so that he should not hear. Aside means talking to oneself, and so that he can't hear, but she wants to talk to herself. She says, the snuff has made peace between us. So at least by taking the snuff, there is a bit of understanding between us, and it has made a small friendship between us. And excuse me if I read aloud. That's what Gonzalo says. So he just further asks her, see, can I read aloud? She says, come on, you read as much as loud you would like to, and it doesn't disturb me. And Dan Gonzalo, he takes the book and he starts reading loudly now. The first sentences what he starts reading is, all love is sad. All love is sad, but sad as it is the best thing that we know. And he says one sentence from the book where he takes, all love is sad, but sad as it is the best thing that we know. That is from Camphor Moore, he says. So here he reads one of the books what he has brought there, which has written by Camphor Moore, and he says that it is regarding the love which has been written there, and he says that it is the best, love is the best thing which has been told here in this particular poem. And now she also makes a joke of it, yeah. And after that, even he starts reading now. The daughters of the mothers I once loved, kiss me now as they would have graven images. Those lines, I take it, are in humorous way. So he tells, so earlier I would have loved their mother, And now I can just make out, when I see these girls, I just can remember the mother whom I had seen. She is just like a mother. She is just like a mother in her image. So she is just the same. I can see his mother face in this girl he feels. So the daughters of the mothers I once loved kiss me now as they would have graven images. Those lines, I take it, are in a humorous vein. So it is just a jokeful way of taking. That is, they are just like an idol used as an object of worship. And now, even Don Lura, she laughs at it and she says, I take them so too, in a humorous way only. Even I would like to have a joke on that, because the funniest sentences I feel, and you can just laugh at that just when you read this sentence. Both come to an agreement. And now Gonzalo says, there are some beautiful poems in this book. Here, 20 years pass, he returns, are some of the sentences which have been given here. So I have read these beautiful poems, and there is one particular line which is very much liked by me, that is the same beautiful poem. And the book here, what I am telling is, it is titled as 20 years pass, he returns. After 20 years, the how he comes, and the experience of seeing that particular coming back of this particular hero has been written in this book. 20 years have passed, and after 20 years he returns. And Donna Lura, what she tells is, you cannot imagine how it affects to see you reading with all those glasses. She is very particular about teasing him, and she tells, see, you are reading, but I feel so bad to see you, how it is going. I cannot imagine how it affects to see you reading with all those big glasses. She teases him as telescope. You are wearing, as if he is wearing a telescope. The same thing she tells here, and she tells him, see, I am seeing you wearing this glasses, big glasses, and reading, and I feel so bad to see you. Can you read without any glasses? He questions her now. So he questions her. See, you are also the same age. Can you read without any glasses? She says, certainly I can read, because at this age, can you? Are you joking? He says. But she says, now, if you have a doubt, you just give me the book and I will read and show you. And she takes away the book from his hand, and loudly she starts reading here the book without wearing any glasses. She goes on reading. 20 years pass, he returns, and each beholding the other and exclaims, can it be that this is he? Heavens, is it she? So these are the lines from the books what she reads, and she goes on reading them. And Donna Lura, after reading, she returns the books to Don Gonzalo, and Gonzalo says, I feel so jealous that you have got such a wonderful eyesight at this age also. And Lura aside, she talks to herself, I know every word by heart. See, she is making him, she is making fun of him. She is making him believe that she has got a good eyesight, but she doesn't have a good eyesight. But according to her, she knows this poem. She has read it so many times, and it is just like a by heart in her mouth. And she goes on just reading it without looking at it. She says, I have every word by right. I know every word by heart is that she has by hearted it. She has read it so many times. Without reading also she can tell the sentences. But she is making him a fool here to make him believe that she has got a very good eyesight. Gonzalo, I am very fond of verses, he says. Very fond. I even composed some in my youth. When I was young, I used to write so many of the verses. And in my younger days, I have written many of them myself than this good author. So now suddenly she asks, have you written anything which is good? Or they were any of the other type? So he says, all kinds I have written. And I had many of the poets of Spain, like Espinosa and Zorilla and Bucker and others. I first met Zorilla in America, he says. So he goes on telling as if all the Spanish writers, composers were just very close to him. He goes on boasting himself that he has met all of them, especially Zorilla, whom he says he met in America. And she questions now, when did you go to America? And he says that I have gone several times to America. Do you know the first time when I went to America, I was just only 6 year old. So now she teases him. Maybe you must have gone with Columbus in one of his carnivals. So when Columbus went to find out the sea route, maybe you also went to find, you also were there with his carnival, with his badge. And nearly they both laugh at the joke what Laura tells. Not so. Now Gonzalo says, not quite as bad as that. I am not that old, you know. I admit, but I did not know Ferdinand and Isabella. Ferdinand and Isabella are the king and queen of France at that particular time when Columbus goes. So here Gonzalo tells that he didn't know Ferdinand and Isabella, the king and queen of France, Spain, whom they would have given this financial help to Columbus to find out the new sea route. They both laugh at that. And I was also a great friend of Compemo. I met him in Valencia. I am a native of that city. So the very thing he tells is he knew the Spanish author very well, and he had met him in Valencia, and that's how he goes on talking. And he says that he is from the city of Valencia. And Donna Laura suddenly says, are you from that place? And Gonzalo says, see, I don't say lies. I was brought up there. I was born and brought up there. And I spent my early youth, my younger days in that place only. Have you ever visited that city? But he asked now to her, have you ever visited Valencia? And Donna Laura says, yes sir, I have also visited. Not far from Valencia, there was a villa. That means not far from Valencia. When we go there, I knew a very big bungalow was there. Villa is a big bungalow, and I doubt whether it is still there. Should remain so I have got the memories of that particular bungalow or the villa which was there, and I have been there. I spent several of the seasons there. It was many years ago. What I am telling now is many years ago, and I have spent many of my days there and seasons there. It was this bungalow, I remember, it was near the sea, and it was hidden among the lemon and orange trees. So there was a big garden which had lemon and orange trees, and they called it, I just want to remember the name of the villa. Let me see. She goes on remembering now. Let me see. What did they call it? She recollects the name and she says now the villa's name was Marcilla. So this is the name of the villa where she remembers that it was in Valencia, and a very big bungalow she remembers which has the name called as Marcilla, and Marcilla is the name of that particular villa or a bungalow. Suddenly when Gonzalo hears the name of this Marcilla, he gets shocked and he says, did you say the name Marcilla? And she says, yes, it is. Is it familiar to you what I have told now? He says, yes, very familiar. Even I remember this name, Valencia, and the name Marcilla. So I was staying in Valencia, and I just have got this name of Marcilla also. I can remember this. I have not forgotten the name of that particular bungalow. Even I remember, and it is very familiar for me also. And as I recollect my memories, if my memory serves me right, he says, as we grow older, we may forget many things, but I have not forgotten this particular villa by the name Marcilla. And if I can recollect, he says, that in this villa, there lived a very beautiful woman I have ever seen in my youth, and I have assured you, I have seen many of the beautiful girls, but I have not come across a girl who was so beautiful. Let me see. I can just want to recollect the name of the lady whom I have seen in that particular bungalow. So let me recollect the name. And he goes on remembering her. Lastly, he'll come with the name Laura Lorenta. That is the name of this particular heroine. And after that, when she hears the name Laura Laurent, suddenly Laura is shocked to hear the name. Laura Lorenta, you are telling? Yes. And they look at each other intently with eager attention. So as if they are testing each other, they just look at each other. And now Laura is the first one to recover from the shock, and she says, nothing, nothing. You reminded me of my best friend. When you told this, I just looking at you, I just felt that I am looking at my best friend, and that's how. And Gonzalo also says, how strange, it is strange she was called, how strange he tells, and Lura also says, it is strange she was also called as a silver maiden. So, in this whole of the thing, we come to know that the girl who was living in this bungalow had a particular name by Lura Lorenta, and she was also nicknamed as a silver maiden in that area, and she tells it. So then now Gonzalo just goes on. Yes, precisely, she was known as a gold silver maiden by the name she was known in that locality. The whole of the area, she was not called by the name she used. She was well known as a silver maiden. Yeah, I seem to see her as if she were before me now, as if I can just remember, as if she is standing in front of me, and her beauty at the window with the red roses in her hand. Do you remember the window which is there? So in the villa, the particular window, she used to sit there, and she used to have always a bunch of red roses with her, and she used to sit near the window. And when he tells, can you remember her? Here Lura says, yes, I can remember. It was her room, and it was in her room the window was there, and she used to sit in the window. And Gonzalo goes on talking. She spent many hours there. She spent many hours there. I mean, in the day. She used to be most of the time sitting near the window, and I can remember it today also that she was in that particular all the day. I used to see most of the time she spends sitting near the window. And Lura says, as if she gives a hard breath, where the word is used as sighing. So she feels very sorrowful feelings. She tells with a very heavy heart, and in mind too, I can just see sitting her in the same window. Even in my eyes also, I see her like that. Now, Don Gonzalo goes on describing about this particular beauty of Lura Lorenta, or the lady who is called as a silver maiden. He goes on explaining she was ideal, she was perfect. So he goes on describing how beautiful she is. Fair as lily, he compares her beauty to a color which is lily, which is a jet white. So, and not only that, he tells that she was so fair, just like a lily flower, and she had jet black hair, black eyes, with an uncommonly sweet expression. She had this smile which could attract many people, just her smile was enough to make her attractive. She seemed to cast a radiance wherever she went. She looked very bright. There was a radiance behind her, as if she was having this light wherever she went. There was brightness. Her figure was beautiful and perfect. To look at, she was perfect. She didn't even have extra her figure was beautiful, and she was perfect as a girl there, and she was in such a form, the form of sovereign beauty or model in human clay. So it is told that she was such a good the God has created her with a lot of patience. It is said God created her in such a way that the human figure what she had, he had taken a lot of time to create her, and that is how we come to know that she was made in God had made the models in human clay, and she was a dream to look at for many of them. So they used to just wait to see her. That's what he says. And Lura says, if you knew that dream was now beside you, you could realize what dreams come true. And now she says she was very unfortunate and had a sad love affair. So here she says, see, that is the first time we come to know that this Lura is none other than Lura Norelet is none other than the Lura who is sitting beside him. So they are concealing themselves. She is hiding from him that she is the same heroine who was once again. So she is talking to herself and saying, see, if you come to know to Gonzalo, where he is unable to hear, she talks to herself, if you would have come to know that I am the same heroine who is sitting beside you, I don't know what you would have done. And now, as I am old, what your dreams would have been. You have seen her in the younger days. Now I am sitting here beside you. who is a 70-year-old. And she continues talking loudly now. She said she was very unfortunate and had a sad love affair. That's what she tells. See, I feel very bad to know that she had a very sad love affair. So now the continuation of the story we come to know in the next part, children. And today I would like to end this particular part, third part, which I have done to you. Thank you, children.